Over the past 10 years, I have tried every sales funnel you can imagine to try to grow my business. We've done live event funnels, trip funnels, low ticket funnels, challenge funnels, webinars, lead magnets, VSLs, you name it. And I have found 3 that work incredibly well for me to grow my online companies that generate millions of dollars every single year. In fact, I have a bonus 4th, and it's the one that you can see on the screen. We'll come back to that at the end. What I'm going to do in today's video is basically just walk you through every single one of these sales funnels. I want to point out the key things that I've done that make them work, why I believe they work so well, and it's going to be an awesome video. Firstly, if you're new here and you're not familiar with our channel, my name's John, husband, father, entrepreneur, and founder of AdClients.com. And over the last few years, I've scaled multiple online businesses to over $30 million in revenue generated. And I've done that without having to hustle 24/7, sacrifice my personal life, or stop doing the things that I enjoy. And now here on the channel, I help other people to do the same. Let me walk you through these different funnels from start to finish and point out the key things that we're doing. The first funnel that I want to walk you through is our webinar. And we're really going to talk about just the first part here, because once we get into the actual webinar environment, it's hard for us to demo that right here. But this is my webinar registration page where someone would come from social media or one of our online ads, and they'll come to this page, they'll be enticed to register for the online event. Now, there's a few key things I want to point out. Number 1, we run all of our webinars, if they're evergreen, as just-in-time webinars. What that means is that it starts every 15 minutes. My webinar is constantly running day in, day out, and it's happening every 15 minutes. You can see that right now I'm recording this on September 19th, and so the next one is coming up in 5 minutes at 10 a.m. in the morning. As soon as this hits 0, then if this page refreshes, the next appointment will be 10:15, right? Now, what I have found through all of my testing is that this just works the best. When we think about all of the different options for running an automated webinar funnel, and there's loads of different webinar platforms that will give you these different forms of functionality. You can allow someone to watch the webinar immediately. They can watch yesterday's replay. You can just put a video directly on a page with no webinar environment whatsoever. We can do just in time. We can give them options of when they want to watch it, later on today, maybe a couple of time options for tomorrow. The main thing that we are trying to achieve with a webinar registration process is for someone to give us the highest opt-in rate possible, meaning that the friction to register is as low as possible. But then secondly, we want the retention of them actually coming into the webinar and staying on the webinar to be as high as possible as well. And what I find is just-in-time wins on both accounts. When I run YouTube ads or Facebook ads, I send them to this page here, and there's only one option. You literally click that button and you give your information and you register, right? There's no picking a time option. It's starting in the next few minutes. You either want it or you don't. And we find this gives us a really, really high opt-in rate. But then once they opt in fact, I'll go ahead and do that for you now. Let's go ahead and just put anything in here, all right? We'll leave phone field for now. We come to this page where there's really not much to do other than just get straight into the webinar room. We don't have a video. We don't have any distractions. We literally have a countdown that matches the registration page. And as soon as that countdown hits 0, this page will redirect into the webinar room. The platform that we're using for this is a combination of Funneler, which is our funnel builder that builds all of our pages, and then we use Stealth Seminar to actually run the webinar itself. And so by keeping this page distraction free, it encourages people to not get distracted with other stuff. They simply just wait for this page to redirect, and then we get 60 to 70% show rates, which is really high. Because if we go back to the registration page here, if you allow someone to click this button and go ahead and pick a time option, later on today or this evening or tomorrow morning or whatever, in our experience, it actually lowers opt-in rate because there's now a decision to make, and so it's lowering the friction, it's increasing the friction to come through, and we actually get lower attendance rates as well. So we think that we'll get a higher attendance rate because we've given them a chance to pick a time that works best for them. It's actually the opposite. They pick a time and then they forget, they get distracted. By the time tomorrow comes around, they've had 101 other distractions on social media. So register now, go straight into the webinar room. We find that that is absolutely the best. Also, you notice that we have a very, very simple page, and we just find that this works the best. Less is more with a webinar like this. We just need someone to come from social media, like the sound of the presentation, and register. Because if they register quickly, they get in the room quickly, as long as my content on the webinar itself is great, I will keep them hooked and keep them around, all right? And I want to move on to the next funnel that we're using, which is working well for us as well. But I do just want to point out that webinars is one of my primary vehicles. Of all of the ones I'm sharing with you today, this is the primary one, because I just find it ticks all of the boxes for a sales funnel that's going to do the job it needs to convert cold prospects into hot, ready to buy clients. Because with a webinar, you're starting the relationship with value, right? They land on this page and there's nothing for sale. They can opt in to be delivered some training. And so we're leading with that value. It also acts as a gatekeeper. People can't book a call with you or get on your calendar until they watch the whole presentation. So they have to stay to the end. That helps to qualify the prospects. It just builds the relationship so much better. And of course, it starts with lead generation too. We're actually getting the opt-in, which is great. So webinars are awesome. Obviously, I haven't got time to go into the presentation of the webinar itself because that's quite a big training. But I do have this resource that I can send you. It's a big one. I can hardly fit it into my little webcam screen. But this basically walks you, I'm going to lean to even show you. This walks you through everything you should say and do in a webinar presentation from start to finish. Every one of these markers is something that you need to say, something that you need to do. And if you tick off all of these, you will have an incredible webinar presentation that is effective, that provides value, and hopefully lands you some clients. That's my free gift to you. There's a link in the description box, or we might have a QR code that pops up here. Go ahead and just tell me where to send this and we'll get it straight over to you. This is a must-see resource. It's absolutely incredible. I give this to my clients. This is literally how we train our clients. We have people that pay us $20,000 and $30,000 to be in our programs. This is the baseline for what we teach from. So it's really freaking cool. So click the link and grab that. The second funnel that I want to walk you through is actually, it's called a VSL, right? It stands for Video Sales Letter. And I prefer webinars. I think webinars tick more of the boxes that we need, but a VSL still has its place. I do like it in the wider plan of the business, because when you start to scale your business, I don't know where you're at currently as you watch this, but you can get to a certain level with one funnel, right? You might get to 20K a month, 30K a month, 40K a month as a coach or as a consultant or a service provider. But eventually, when you really need to start to scale towards 7 figures a year, right, or even moving towards 8 figures, you need to incorporate multiple funnels so that you've got more life in your online advertisements, because there's more stuff going on. And so incorporating a VSL as well as a webinar and having them running at the same time has actually done really well for us. And quite simply, a VSL is allowing someone to opt in with their name and email, but they're going to be delivered a video immediately on the next page, right? And I'll show you an example of it right now. What you're seeing in front of you is one of our opt-in pages for a VSL. And you can see it is simple as anything, because for someone to click on this button here to be shown the 24-minute training and give you their name and email to come on in, we don't need a big page with loads of information. We don't need a bunch of testimonials. We simply don't need it all, right? What we need is a very simple page with a good, attractive headline and a good hook that's going to make them want to come in and access this. And so that's quite simply all we do. It's a page like this. Sometimes less is more, and this is one of our highest performing opt-in pages, and so that's why we're keeping it on and why we keep it running. And so with a VSL, I mean, I'm going to opt in a moment to show you what's on the next page, but with a VSL, there's kind of two ways to do it, and there's two popular strategies, and this one is following one of these options. The first option is that we don't provide value necessarily, but we go straight for the jugular. We go straight for talking about who we are, what we do, how we can help people, and give them the opportunity to book a call on our calendar. The second option is that we lead with value, and at the end of the value, we give them an opportunity to book a call with us. Now, there's no right or wrong, and my experience is, you can get similar numbers with both of them, similar numbers being similar leads coming through, similar cost per lead, and then a similar book a call rate on the next page. So you're getting a same amount of opportunity on your calendar. I just personally find, if you get into the granular detail, if someone came through a VSL that taught them something and provided some value before we made the offer, we tend to find they're slightly more qualified and in a better position to become a client once we're on the phone. And so I go with a training style most often, and that's what you're seeing here, right? Discover how to flood your coaching business with high-paying clients, free training reveals, show me the 24-minute training. So everything about this is opting in to be taught something, which I quite like. I think it's a good pull. So if we go ahead and opt in, all right, I'll show you what's on the next page. Oh, I didn't put my name in there. There we go. I'll show you what's on the next page here. So we opt in. Unlike the webinar, immediate access to the video. Okay, a webinar, they have to wait around. They're coming into the webinar environment. There's going to be a chat box. It's going to feel like an online presentation. Whereas the difference with this is that they're landing directly on a page where the video is right there. It's obviously a video. It's not an online training event. The video's right there. Also notice that we simply have a headline, a training, and there's nothing else on this page. That's because we delay the button. Okay, we delay the button. I don't want the button there immediately for someone to book a call. I want them to have to, at least get into some of this content and watch some of the video before the call to action appears. I've also got a moving thumbnail here so that they're enticed to click the play button, because I would rather them click play on their own account. It's called a micro commitment, and begin watching this video. Then it auto plays, but auto plays silently. So I would rather have a moving thumbnail that's really attractive. They're thinking, well, gosh, what's all this? I want to know what's going on. They click play. All right. And then what I have is a video. Hey, it's John Penberthy here, and that starts off, upbeat, gets them excited, and then I walk them to my whiteboard where I break down the training, and then I make the invitation to book a call. If you want to watch this VSL, I'll leave the links to all of these funnels down in the description box. I'll leave a link to this page to register for that, so you can see that in action. And I'll also leave you the link to register for this VSL so that you can go through it and model it and learn from it. And perhaps even you like the content within it and you think, gosh, I quite like this guy and I want to learn from him. Then of course we'd be delighted if you want to book a call with us and have a chat about how we can help you to grow and scale what you're doing. So that those links are down there below. So again, that's a VSL. I want to give you another quick tip before we move to these other funnels, because these are a bit more intricate and they're actually really quite exciting. But another quick tip on this before we move on. In the beginning, whatever funnel you are using as your primary vehicle, so you're running online ads into a certain funnel, then use a different funnel on the back end, right? Because if you are running YouTube ads and Facebook ads into a webinar funnel, for example, right, then on the back, why not send some emails and point them to a VSL? Because they came through the webinar and some of them took action, most of them didn't. Maybe the webinar got their attention, but they just didn't consume it. And now if you give them the same information in a different vehicle, you might activate. In fact, I'm almost certain you will activate more people on your list that are ready to take action. They just needed a slightly different vehicle. So really, really good idea to do that. In fact, I call it a gift box funnel. I'm not sure I've got the resource around it somewhere, but I've got an 8-figure coaching blueprint where I talk about all the different things that you need in your business to make the cogs turn and build a scalable business. And a part of it is having your front end funnel, but then you have what we call gift box funnels. Same offer, same content wrapped up differently in a different gift. And it works really, really well. The third funnel that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to get into my bonus fourth one. The third funnel is what we call a low ticket upsell funnel. Okay, it's going to start with lead generation, but then we're going to have a bunch of upsells along the way as well. I'm building these funnels on Funneler. This is an incredible funnel building platform. And I know it's incredible because I already built it with my business partner. Me and Ryan were so fed up, quite frankly, with the funnel builders that were out there. They weren't doing what they said they were going to do. They were breaking, they were buggy, the user experience just wasn't good. And there were a number of features that I wanted that just weren't available. One of them is a visual funnel builder, just like this, right? I want to be able to see my funnel in a snapshot. I want to be able to see the first page and the stats. I want to be able to see the different lists and tags and sequences they're added to. I want to see the page that it goes to next and the stats, the checkout page and the upsell flow. I want to be able to see it all in one flow like this. And if we have split tests, I want to be able to see that side by side. And that wasn't available anywhere else. Other platforms have started to try to visually display a funnel, but not a working functional funnel that you can click into and edit the pages live in that view. So we built that and so many other features. Funneler is absolutely incredible. We built it from the ground up. We've spent millions developing this piece of kit, and I'm really, really proud of it. In fact, if you want to go ahead and check this out, I'd highly suggest that you do that, and I would love it. Right? Go to funneler.com. funnel with an r.com. I'll leave a link in the description box. Go and hear a bit about the story and what we've built and why we're different. And then you can grab a free trial to play around with it. If you've been following me for any time at all and you like my content and you like my training and you like what I do, then you will love the piece of kit that we've built, because it's everything that we needed to grow and scale our companies really effectively. And so anyway, so this is all built in Funneler, but the first step in this funnel is an opt-in page. You know, much like with everything else, if we go ahead and grab the link to that and take a look, you can see we're giving away a free gift. It's called the 60-second script. And so, you know, it starts with something of a lead magnet. We've tested a few different versions of this page. Sometimes we have an image of the free gift and sometimes we don't. We're just testing which one works best. This is currently the one that was actually winning, believe it or not. And so this is our opt-in page, right? Once we get the opt-in, then we're automatically, of course, you know, adding them into our system. We're adding them to our lists and giving them tags so we know where they came from, and starting an email sequence, because that's really important, by the way. With all of your funnels, when someone first opts in, you're going to have a series of pages that you take them through, and that's great. But you've got another vertical within your funnel, which is the emails, and we've got the opportunity to double down on our revenue production. And so if we click into our sequence here, we can see once someone opts into this funnel, they're going to go immediately to the next page. But also if we go and have a look at the sequence, we also have a visual email builder. So you can see that we delay by an hour, and then we send them this first email, and then we wait another day and we send them this next email, and so on and so forth. So we've got a series of emails that we're sending to these people as well, to remind them of what they opted in for and to send them back. And it's really important that you have that email sequence in what you're doing. All right, but we can come back to the funnel. One of the things I love about the visual funnel builder, by the way, and how we designed it, is that you can build everything in a funnel from one place. You don't have to click around to these different areas of the system and go create an opt-in form somewhere else and save it and then come back and add that to your page, and then go somewhere else and create a product and then save it and come back. Go somewhere else to create an email sequence and then save it and come back. You can do everything from within this visual funnel builder. We can go in and edit the pages from in here and do what we need to with the page, make changes, make tweaks, but then we can quite simply come straight back out, go back to the funnel that we're in. Setting up a split test is as simple as clicking these three dots, click split test, and then we'll have another split test that appears, and we can decide how much traffic we want to give to the split test version. And then over time, we'll see which one's performing, and we can declare this one the winner. And you know, it's really, really cool. And the same here with all of this stuff too. So those are your emails, those are the sequences. But here's where this funnel is very different to a webinar or a VSL. Right? A webinar is opt-in, straight into training material, go straight to high ticket. VSL is opt-in, training material, go straight to book on the calendar and hear about our coaching program. This low ticket funnel is another vertical that is going to attract a different audience, right? There are some people online that are happy to opt into a funnel, enjoy the content, book a call, and eventually go straight to joining your coaching program. Other people need some warming up. And so what we do is we have this funnel where they opt in, but immediately after they opt in, they go to this page here. Okay? No training, no booking on our calendar. What I basically say is, hey, look, the 60-second script is making its way to your inbox. Before you go anywhere, check out this video here. And I offer them a $7 product. And this is, I mean, something of an open wallet test, right? We just want to see, is this a person that's happy when they see something that they like to drop a few dollars? Are they willing to open up their wallet and spend a little bit of money? And so they've opted in for the lead magnet, but now do they want the script? Do they want the ad script? And it's just $7, and we have a bit of information about it down the page. And so they can click this button and go ahead and say, yeah, I want it. And then of course they'll be taken to our checkout page. And on that checkout page, they can go ahead and make that purchase. And we've got an order bump on that page as well. All right. And so that's the start of the process. $7, go to the checkout page. We can see how the checkout page is performing. Right. We've got the order bump on there as well, which is giving us a little lift in revenue. And as soon as they purchase, they're taken to this page. And we have a series of upsells. And what you'll notice is some upsells do better than others. This first one only converted at 8%, which isn't great, okay? But the second one, which you'll see in a second, converted at 14%. And without going into too much detail, these numbers are skewed actually, because we sent a bunch of test traffic to this page, which lowered the numbers overall. So you're just gonna have to believe me, this one was actually more like 15%. It was double what you're seeing in these stats. And the same is true for this one. So we had about 15% on this one, and we were getting closer to 30% uptake on this one, which is actually, it's pretty good. But what you want to do is test and refine these over time. But anyway, back to the flow. So they've purchased $7. They've been offered a tripwire. They've been offered an order bump. And now they're taken to this page where I say, hey, thanks so much for grabbing the script. Okay. But now, would you like us to walk you through A to Z of how to launch a successful YouTube ad campaign? You've got the script, but you want the step-by-step guide to launch the ad, right? And that's $97. And they can quite simply click this button. And of course, the cool thing about this is we have one-click upsells, which means that they don't have to insert their credit card information again. They just click this button and their credit card is billed, all right? So that's the first upsell, and that was the one that I said, didn't obviously do as well as I would have liked, this one here. But then we take them, whether they say yes or whether they say no, we give them the opportunity to hear about another offer, right? And again, in this video, I basically say, hey, look, you've got my free gift, you've got my script at this point. Maybe you took me up on the A to Z walkthrough, but you know what? One of the most important parts of the success of your campaign is, it's the targeting. You can have a great ad, you can have a great script, you can know how to set up an ad, but unless you are putting that ad in front of the right people at the right time, then it's all going to fall flat. So we need you to understand good targeting, and we've done an advanced training that will walk you through that. No surprises, it's another $97. If they want that, they can click this button, they can add it on to their order, all right? And what's really cool about this is that the flow of all of these offers within this funnel, they all tell a story, they all lead one to the next. And I think that's really important for you if you're thinking about creating a funnel like this, is that everything's got to work together. It's got to be, made this first purchase. Now, the thing they're being offered now shouldn't feel like it's an and or it shouldn't feel like it, the first thing won't work unless they have this. It needs to feel like a complement, right? It's like, hey, you got the framework. Now, do you want the script? Hey, you got the script. Do you want to know how to launch the ad? Hey, you know how to launch the ad, but do you want to know how to power that ad campaign with the most targeted, audience possible? So we're just adding to it. Now, what we're going to start to experiment with now is trying different upsells. We're going to, try some different options and see which ones we get the best results with. All right. And so that's that funnel. All right. So those are the three primary funnels that we use to grow our coaching business. Because this one here, the game plan is that we are generating some low ticket buyers. We are liquidating ad spend, hopefully, right? We spend $100 on ads and we generate $100 back through the funnel. But now we've got a bunch of buyers that we can dive into. Yeah, we can build relationship with these leads. We can pick up the phone and call them because we ask for a phone number on the checkout page. So we can phone them, we can build a relationship with them, and eventually we can lead them to wanting to perhaps work with us in the business. All right. So that's that funnel. Now, I've got a fourth and final bonus for you. A bonus funnel that I want to share with you. This is a bit more intricate, so take this with a pinch of salt, but this has worked really, really great for us. And it's quite a simple model. It's basically using virtual events. So we've done webinars, we've done VSLs, we've got a low ticket funnel, but now what about hosting like a 2-day online virtual event? What if we charged an admission fee to come to that virtual event. Well, this has actually worked really well for us. It models, well, basically brings the best of these two together, right? We've got the low ticket buyers that we're generating here, and then we've got the training and going straight up to coaching that we've got here. So it kind of ticks both boxes. Here's how it works, all right? The funnel starts with, let me close down some of these so that we can create some space here. So the funnel starts with an opt-in, right? As you would imagine, because everything starts with an opt-in for us. So, you know, they're getting our push and pull sales script. This was an event that we called the Future of Sales. So they get our push and pull script, that's our lead magnet, they opt in, all right? Once they opt in, they're of course added to our lists and tags, and we've got an email sequence. Then we set up a split test. Now this was a really interesting split test, because what we did is I wanted to know if we did a one-step registration for the virtual event, okay, where they land on a page. I'll show it to you. All right, here we go. So they've opted in for this lead magnet. They land on this confirmation page, and I say, look, step one, it's making its way to your inbox. Step two, let me show you how to implement this on my virtual event. And it costs $7 to come to this virtual event. I wanted to see whether it would be better to have a two-step process where they land on this page, I thank them for opting in, I tell them about my virtual event, and then they click this button to go to another page that's going to give them all the details about the event and then allow them to register. Or do I combine those two pages into one? And I say, thank you for grabbing the lead magnet, here's the information on the event, and click this button to actually submit your payment and register for the event. And that was the split test that I set up here. So as you can see, I had one version of the thank you page that pointed directly to purchase, and I had another version of the thank you page that directed them to learn more about the event, and then after that page they could purchase and secure their seat at the event. Well, in case you're interested, the winner of this experiment was actually combining it both into one. That's actually what worked the best. So when they land on this page here, this is the version, as you can see, that when they click on when they watch this video, they click on this button and they're taken to the second step to learn more about the event and register. But what actually worked best is giving them the chance to purchase straight away, which I believe was this option here. So we grab this link, take a look at this one. Okay, they land on this page. Oh, that's not right. Forgive me, I have just spread misinformation. I just paused the video and spoke to my team. The winning split test was actually the two-step. I just told you it was the one step. The winning formula, the greater return that we got was actually the two-step, which does make sense because we talk a lot in marketing about micro commitments. And if we can have people do micro steps that lead up to the big thing we're asking for, which in this case is registering for our $7 event, then we often get a greater return overall. And that was actually what happened here. So people would land on this page, would thank them for registering for the lead magnet, then we'd tell them a little bit about the event, get them to click a button to come to the next page and hear more about it, and then register. That was the winner in our split test. And this virtual event funnel has worked really, really well for us as well. We use it as a gift box funnel that I talked about earlier. People are on our list now. When they're on our list, let's send them something different. And so we do these events every now and again where we go through a fresh lead magnet, we tell them about this event, we charge $7, we get buyers on the line, and then we deliver an incredible live training, and then I make a coaching offer at the end, and we do really, really well with this funnel. So the reason why it's fourth and it's my bonus one that I'm telling you about is because these are ones that we run cold traffic to typically, and this is one that we turn on periodically and typically use for warm traffic. So there you have it. Those are the 4 funnels that I use in my business. We make millions every single year with these. I hope you've learned a bunch of stuff. Don't forget, if you want to test these out and have a look at them for yourself, all the links for these funnels are down below. I think you'll learn a ton by going through it. Maybe you'll even see that what we have is stuff we can help you with, and you might even want to book a call and chat with our team about how we can help you. Do check out Funneler as well. Go to funneler.com. The link is down in the description box as well. Grab a free trial. It's an amazing piece of kit, and I think you'll fall in love with it if you grab a trial and have a little look through. And I'll leave another video up here on the screen to the 7 things that every sales funnel must have that will help it to perform and be more profitable. So if you're enjoying this education, come and check out the next video, and I'll see you there.